Alright, we are back for the third and final game in round 2 of the Solo Champions League challenge for this week. We're up against Crossbones still, nothing's changed. He's on stage 1 standard, and he still has his 4 cards in the experimental weapons deck that we are going to play against as a side deck. He has a very dangerously thin encounter deck that has only his 19 Crossbones cards, as well as the standard cards, and 1 obligation for our hero. He has lots of treacheries that will discard cards from this deck, and he has side schemes with acceleration tokens. So this is going to be very fast and tense. We can only play Hawkeye, but we are free to choose our aspect. So I went with aggression, and it's an aggression rush deck, so we're not defending, we're not thwarting, we're just trying to out-damage him before he can do what he's trying to do. We've got 3 recovery, weapon of choice, spend 1 resource of any type, search your deck and discard pile for the bow, add it to your hand. We've got hand size of 6 in alter ego, and 9 squishy hit points. So let's see what we can do here. And Crossbones has 12 hit points. Here we go. Cable Arrow, Vibranium Arrow, Yarn, Sentry, Spider Girl, and the bow. Oof. The bow is not good to get right away. Now here's the interesting thing. I could discard it, because I believe we can get it from the discard pile, and that'll give us a slot for maybe something better. Yes, let's do that. So we're going to discard the bow. We're going to keep Spider Girl as our first blocker. We're going to get rid of Sentry. Probably going to get rid of Jarnbjorn. We're going to keep the Vibranium Arrow. And we're probably going to get rid of the Cable Arrow too. So I don't like pretty much any of this stuff here. Alright, so we're dumping 4 cards. Team Building Exercise. Genius. Sonic Arrow. Skilled Strike. Alright. So that is not so good. I wanted some Expert Marksmans, but we did get a Vibranium Arrow. We do have a blocker. We do have some money, cash money, and I guess we're going to toss the team building exercise to go find that bow. We know where it is. It's in the discard pile. So there it is. I'm not missing anything here except his laser rifle, apparently. So he's got 1 scheme, 2 attack right now. And he's got ranged, so retaliate will not matter for him. And it's okay because we don't have retaliate anyway. Okay, so we're going to flip. There's nothing else we need to do in alter ego. So I'm thinking we need... Are we okay to take a hit on the first turn? Because I would like to have a blocker, and I would like to shoot a Vibranium Arrow. I don't necessarily want to waste a confusion, because that can buy us some time later. So since we do have this, we could take a hit now, and worst case scenario, we can flip over with confusion. So I think let's just take the hit. So how are we going to do this? We want to do Genius, exhaust the bow, and that's going to be a Vibranium Arrow. So that's going to be 6 damage on Crossbones. That drops him right down to 6 from 12. That's a pretty good start. And I think we're going to do a swing for 3. Hawkeye's bow gives us +1 attack and ranged. We're going to add a skilled strike to that. So that's 3, 8, 4, 5. He's down to 1. It's a little bit awkward, but it's okay because we're going to have Spider Girl come out next turn as a blocker, and she's going to punch him first. So we got Spider Girl and Sonic Arrow for when we do need to recover. We're going to ready up. Let's see what we get. 2 in hand. 3, 4, 5. So we got Explosive Arrow, Mockingbird, and Mean Swing added to our hand. Let's see what he's going to do. So he gets 1 on the main. He's at 1 of 3. And he will attack us full power. We're not going to defend it. And we're not going to even do anything to avoid it. We're just going to let him hit us. So it's going to be 2 plus nothing. There goes an assault. Very nice. So we just take 2 damage from 9 down to 7. That's perfect. We need an encounter card. Raid the Armory. This is the one I did not want to get. So he gets Insight 1. And this is especially bad for us because it says discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a weapon attachment is discarded. So I don't know how many weapons there are in here. I'm thinking there's only the machine gun. I could be wrong, but that's the only one that comes to mind. So we're going to go through this whole deck until we find the machine gun. This could be really okay or really, really, really bad. Let's get to it. Looking for weapons. We're not finding any weapons, as expected. This is going to be rough, guys. We're getting rid of a lot of good stuff that we don't want to see. There we go. So we went through about half the deck, I'd say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of 19 plus the standard cards is not a good scenario. We have maybe 10 left. So that was a bit of a ouch for us. He really put the gas on right there. So the machine gun, this is a bit of a bummer too, because the machine gun we have to hold anyway until he flips. So good thing he's at 1, because he would have got this anyway when he flipped. So we just got to make sure he still has it when he flips. So it says, attach the Crossbones, uses 2 per player ammo counters. When Crossbones attacks you, remove 1 ammo counter from this card, discard the top card of the encounter deck, take indirect damage equal to the number of boost icons on the discarded card. And that's an interrupt, so that happens first before his combat damage goes through. So that could be worse, I guess. I mean, getting this out is not a big deal, but going through that many cards in the deck is a bit of a big deal. So now we definitely need a blocker. What are we going to do? Mockingbird is good, yes, but it's expensive to keep playing her every turn without expert marksmans. So we need... I guess we have to do... If we don't use an arrow, we're okay for hit points. If we don't use an arrow, we can do Mean Swing, which is worth more than any arrow we've got. We're going to still save that Sonic Arrow. So unfortunately, it's going to be Mockingbird and Explosive Arrow. I know, but again, this is a fast game. So that is 2 resources. That's going to bring out Spider Girl. She has an ability, but it only affects minions. So the next thing that's going to happen, getting too excited here, is we're going to punch with her. And that's going to 0 out Crossbones. And then he will go to his stage 2 side. Right here. And he has 2 attack. He still has piercing with a weapon attachment. Now he has a new ability, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the machine gun, which we just did. So that part doesn't matter. We're still fine for that. Alright. So now he has 14 hit points. Okay. So that was the middle of our turn. So we've still got more things we can do. We're going to swing with Hawkeye. And we're going to exhaust the bow to do a mean swing, which is going to do 3, 4, 5, 6 on the villain. That's going to drop him down to 8. That's beautiful. Alright, we're going to still hang on to this Sonic Arrow, because it's going to get us out of jail if we get banged up at any point. And we're going to ready up, see what happens here. So we know he's going to advance his scheme. That's expected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we can get out another blocker. We can get out Valkyrie as a blocker, and we've got a skilled strike. So we're going to be okay next turn. So first things first, he's going to get 1 on the main, which does advance it. So that is out. And he's going to have the Infinity Stone scheme now. It has a threshold of 6, so we've got a bit more breathing room this time. But when revealed, reveal the top card of the experimental weapons deck. So now he has the power gauntlets, which means if he damages us, we discard a card from our hand. So that's going to be attacking our resources and our card draw. We do not like that. This comes in with 1. And that, now we go to his attack. So we're going to block with Spider Girl, but first we do the interrupt. 1 ammo counter. And it's 0 damage. Beautiful. That's awesome. Okay. So now his combat damage goes through. It's 2 plus 1, 3, 4, 5. Alright. And we don't take damage because we did have a blocker. So Spider Girl does her job. Thank you very much. Now the encounter card. Hard as nails. Give the villain a tough status card. Alright. There you go. Enjoy that. I wish you didn't have that. But it's okay. We'll punch it off with Valkyrie. So, as I said, we're going to do Power of Aggression and War Machine. Get out Valkyrie. So we can use 2 for this, plus 1 more. And before we do anything else, she's going to swing. She's going to take a shot at that tough status. Get that knocked off him. Then we are going to swing in. And he doesn't have retaliate or anything. So we are going to swing in with a basic plus a skilled strike, which is 3, 4, 5. So he's down to 3. Alright. So we are sitting pretty. We've still got our sonic arrow, so we haven't got banged up yet, but if we do, we're good to flip. So let's just ride this out. Rating up. 1 card in hand. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got no more arrows. All we got is a combat training and some allies that are useful. But if we can hold on to somebody, we do have an Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So that's good. Alright, let's go to the villain. He gets 1 on the main. He's at 2 of 6. He'll go to attack. We're going to defend with Valkyrie. Machine gun fires. Remove 1 ammo counter. Machine gun runs empty. It's removed. And then we will take the damage. It is 1. I think we're going to take that 1 on Valkyrie because it's indirect damage, so we can spread it out and she can take it. And then his damage goes through. It's 3, 4. So that's fine. That's enough to kill her. She did her job as well. And now we go to the encounter card. Armor. Of course. Of course it's the armor. Just when we're about to close out the game, guys. Crossbones gets his armor. +1 scheme, +1 attack. Attached to Crossbones. When Crossbones would take any amount of damage, place it here instead. If there's 5 or more damage, discard the armor. Yep. Alright. So, we do need a blocker. We can use Hulk for that. And I think... it's tricky. No, as much as I want to do Hulk, we're not going to swing with Hulk, because if he's open, we're going to eat some damage and drop some cards. I don't want to do that. So I want to just do 3. Well, either way, we have to spend our turn getting rid of the armor. So we can drop Tigra. So our options are Earth Mightiest Heroes, Tigra, Combat Training, Hulk, Sonic Arrow. So we could... we could play Hulk and Earth's Mightiest Heroes to get 2 activations out of Hawkeye. If we could get a combat training out, that would be even better. But we just can't do it. We're 1 resource short. So, but I do like that idea, because 2 versions of 3 is better than a 2 and a 3. Again, it doesn't really matter, but Hulk is a good blocker who can hopefully take 2 shots. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, I want to still keep the Sonic Arrow, so that's the point here. So let's get rid of Tigra and Combat Training. We'll get Hulk out. And then we're going to swing with Hawkeye on the armor. So that's 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do Earth's Mightiest Heroes to exhaust Hulk and ready Hawkeye. Then we're going to swing again for another 3, and that finishes off the armor. There's no overkill on the armor. It just soaks it all up and is discarded. Alright. Nothing more we can do. We got the Sonic Arrow still, but we're still doing fine for blockers. So we're going to ready up. And we got 1 in hand. 2, there you go. 3, nice. 4, 5, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Alright. Going to the villain phase, 1 on the main. He's at 306. And he will attack. We're going to block with Hulk. It's going to be 3. Nothing, just 3. Wow. Very nice. So Hulk can live to block for us another turn if it comes to that, or if there's another attack here. Hydra Bomber, okay. Choose to either take 2 damage or place 1 threat on the main scheme. Well, you know what we're going to do. We're of course going to put 1 threat on the main scheme. We don't care about him. And unfortunately, that did reset his deck. So he went through that pretty fast. Again, it was that Raid the Armory that just really steamrolled his encounter deck. I don't have to shuffle this too much because I'm hoping we're going to close out the game right here. But he does get an acceleration token for next time, if there is a next time. And it goes to us. So Hulk is tapped out, but he's still alive. That's fine, because we have nothing stopping us, no guard, nothing else. So let's just swing with Hawkeye. And that is 3 damage on Crossbones. He is zeroed out. So there you go. That is game 3 of the challenge for this week, round 2 of the Solo Champions League. I think I like this challenge actually, because this is a very different kind of match to play. A lot of them, like Kang, for example, or Green Goblin or Ultron, they're really long, epic games. And sometimes I just like to play Rhino for that very reason, where it's just like something quick little skirmish. But it's nice to know this combination here too. Like Crossbones is really fast when it's just his basic deck and the experimental weapons. So this is a very fun challenge, and I liked the idea of going full aggression, full attack, no defense, no thwarting. So that was pretty fun. So we'll keep track of the state here for the records. But in terms of the deck, the only things I didn't really like were War Machine should have been switched out. It would have been better actually if he was something else. He's an Avenger, which synergizes with this, but I actually would have preferred it if he was an aggression card, so I could use one of these with him, and he's just an easier ally to get out. Skilled Strikes, Mean Swings, they all did great. Jarnbjorn didn't really come into play that much. I felt like it's more like a, win more. It's more like a win more kind of card, where you get it out, you can do the mean swings easier. But to be honest, I didn't really have a problem with the mean swings, because unless I really need to stun, or unless I have a Vibranium Arrow, there's nothing that's more important than swinging a mean swing, because it's 6 damage. So the only thing that competes with that is the Vibranium Arrow or stunning the villain. Or again, a Sonic Arrow if I'm banged up. So it didn't really bother me to not shoot an arrow and do 6 damage instead in this particular challenge. Again, if this was like a longer game, then yeah, you'd really want to have this instead. But solo, a fast burn like this, I didn't really need it. It wasn't really an issue. All the allies I had in here, I put lots of allies in here as blockers, and I think it was great. Again, I would probably change War Machine for Brawn. Even though he's not an Avenger, I would just get him out because he's cheaper, and he's a red card, so I can use the Power of Aggression with him. Team building exercise. Now, I put this in here, and I also put Avengers Tower in here, because I thought I was going to do Mockingbird and just get her out cheaper, because I love what she does, but she's so expensive. She costs 3, so plus the resource of getting her back in your hand, that's a really big burn every turn, if you're going to do it like that. So she needs help to get this economy going. So I did have this team building exercise, and I did have Avengers Tower, and those two were just for her. It's nice, of course, if I can get the other guys out with this, but to be honest, this kind of fast game, I never played it. I never played these cards. Just it wasn't necessary. So I would take these out next time, and I'd switch them out for more damage cards that are cheap, like press the advantage, because even though it's 2, we can still like draw a card if he's stunned or confused, which is something that we planned for. So I think that's better, or a piercing strike. But again, two cost I think is pushing it, because you want to play an arrow, you want to do a skill strike or a mean swing, and you want to get an ally out. So already you're pushing the limits of your hand size right there. So to add in something that costs 2, that's just going to do 3 damage, it's not worth it. I'd rather have something that costs 1 and it does 2 damage. It's going to get out on the table more often. Sentry's fine, because even though he costs 4, I mean, he's worth it, but we can get the power aggression to get him out, so not a big deal. If he doesn't get played, doesn't get played, but he's, I think, easier to get out than War Machine. So other than that, I think everything else was great. I didn't have any problems. Endurance was awesome, because we don't want to flip and recover unless we absolutely have to, because we don't want to waste the time. We just want to keep doing the damage. So this helps boost it up. Another thing I would consider is, instead of the team building exercise and Avengers Tower and War Machine, I would take those 3 out, and I would put in 3 honorary Avengers, because that's 3 more hit points. So you get those out, and yeah, it's just 1 hit point each time, but over the game, a fast game like this, it's going to add up to maybe not having to recover. You can take 1 more hit from Crossbones, or you can take a big hit and still be okay to go into the next round without flipping. So that kind of thing I would consider. I did also consider first aid, but again, it's kind of like it's 2 cards to heal 2. So it's the first aid card plus the resource to play it. So, it's better off on an ally, but these allies don't stick around that long. Like 2 damage healing on an ally, they're not doing activations, they're just blocking hits. So they're not meant to be doing their work. Their work is to just get in the way and die, so Hawkeye can keep firing his arrows and doing his big swings. So it doesn't really work in this particular deck for this kind of short race. So again, I thought about it, but I didn't like it for that reason. So I think, again, you want to just go for stamina. So I think Honorary Avenger is good, or you want to go for like ping damage, especially with these tough tokens that he's getting too. So you want to really try to do that. So maybe press the advantage or Honorary Avengers, and I think that's going to be fine. Let's see over here. Now, I did have 3 of these Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and in all the games I played, to be honest, I think I used them once. So they're there kind of like a just in case, because you need the matchup of an Avenger on the table and this in your hand, and there's nothing better to spend this on, right? Sometimes you just need to do arrows, or you need to get your expert marksmans out, or whatever it is, right? Or you gotta get your allies out. So you don't always have a free resource, and this isn't always the free resource that you're gonna have. So sometimes you might need to get rid of some of this stuff too. So it didn't really factor in a major way. It's more like, again, it's a kind of win more kind of thing. I didn't need it to win. It just, you can win faster, and if it happens, it's good, but you can't depend on it. You can't say oh, that's what this deck is going to do. This deck is going to drop Avengers, and I'm always going to be playing these Earth's Mightiest Heroes, because it doesn't work like that. So it's just kind of like, if the stars align and you can do it, like what we did with Hulk, if it works out like that, then great, you get that bonus swing. So otherwise, it's just money, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. So I would still keep them, but just have that in your head that you're not really, it's not the main focus of what this deck is trying to do. It looks like it is on paper, but that's not how it plays out. Other than that, everything was great. So it was a fun challenge. I liked it a lot. And it definitely made me think differently about deck building, and it made me think differently about how to play the game in this kind of fast-paced race against time. So I liked it a lot, and I think if you have the chance, you should definitely check out the Solo Champions League. It's still ongoing. You can jump in anytime, and yeah, give it a try. So I hope you liked the games, and if you did, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. It helps the channel grow and helps to keep the community growing and helps me improve as a player as well. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.